Cool.
I'm so excited about this new space. This is gonna be amazing. All right. I love this new space.
No, I'm excited. You are going to have a cute little surprise later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cute surprise.
You'll see.
Okay. Really quickly, if you wouldn't mind, I don't know how to work this coffee machine yet, and I really desperately need some coffee, so that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay, I'm gonna head over to this office.
Do your thing. All right, I have your coffee.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Here you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm gonna go grab a snack.
Okay. Okay, I have this journal, so we can write everything down for this meeting. So, the meeting, I believe, is at 10:30?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at 10, so we just want to make sure that we're ready and everyone's in. You know, just go over the general notes and then we should be good to go.
Absolutely, cool.
Want a snack?
I think I'm good, thank you though.
All right, and I'm good to go too.
Let's walk through this space. I want to see what you've done with it because I know you've been here before me. So.
I know, I picked out the place, but
I
your
know.
insight's gonna be good, especially when the artists come and, you know, they wanna do their active live stuff. So
Yeah.
let me get the lights real quick.
Oh, fancy.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what kind of,
Oh, wow.
look at that.
Right.
It is so beautiful though.
It really is.
We're gonna have so much fun in this new space, making sure everyone is in it and ready to jive.
Okay, let's see.
Now, see what you can do with that.
Yeah, there's so much natural light. Oh my goodness. Look at, is this a courtyard? This is awesome. And I think so we could have them go through this back door.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Oh, there's like a little dog park too. That's so cute.
You can bring your puppy.
Oh, you already know. They left this here too? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're gonna see something.
You wrote your name here, Devontae. You didn't even let me write my name on here yet.
Hey, you'll get to it soon, I promise. It's gonna be so personalized and ready for everyone to come into this space. You're gonna love it. So, a few last minute things we wanna go over before the meeting?
Yeah, I think just locking in the painters like you said. And
Yeah.
we can just head over and start.
Cool, we
getting
got
ready.
10. Let's do
All
it.
right.
So let's do lunch at noon because the painters are coming at 1. That way we have some time to relax before
Okay.
and just go over a few last minute items.
Sounds great.
Cool.
What color are you thinking?
Blue?
Blue. That's
Yeah.
what you said? Okay.
Yeah.
I like blue. Blue works.
Not a dark blue though.
Okay.
But something, here, let me pull up the file.
Okay.
All right, you can see we have a lot to cover in this Blackmagic URSA Cine 12K first look. But if you want to take a deeper dive, head over to Filmmakers Academy, grab the free bundle, and you get access to over an hour of these tests where we're putting it up against all the high-end professional cameras, the Alexa 35, the Alexa LF, the Red Raptor X, and the Sony Venice 2. And here you can really see how well the skin tones compete with all those other manufacturers. Let's go back to it and enjoy the rest of the first look. All right, so we've just seen the massive Oner, where we've taken you on a journey of from -6 stops all the way to +6, and then ending at them opening up their computers and starting their day at the office. So now Dave and I are going to examine this whole Oner to see how well the Latitude is holding and how well this camera really performs in the low light, which is what everyone was saying. Oh my God, we need to give this camera light. Well, that's what I said till all of a sudden I was looking at this and I was loving the subtle details of just barely seeing detail. All right, let's jump into it.
So call out, Shane, where we're at our darkest.
Yeah, so when she first opens the door, she's going to be 6 under.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. So let's just do printer lights up, like just even signal all the way
Yeah.
up and see. We have a lot of information there, and it's not clipping or clamping. You can see on the waveform. So we have range down that bottom end. There is noise,
Right.
as you would expect on something that's 5.5, whatever, under. I
Right.
mean, but there seems to be a very smooth fall off down in that bottom end. So it's really just about noise. So if I was to grade this properly, we'd maybe not do that. Wind this up and then get out of that mode.
Yeah, just so we can barely see, see her just a little bit more. Yeah,
You know, so we have plenty
of range,
of
to actually
range
go
in there in the bottom end.
Yes.
I mean, that is, at least what I did then, probably a good 3-stop. Increase 2 to 3 stops, bring it up, because it's still moody, still dark, but we're at least doubling it, if not more. So
Okay.
it's
So now she's going to walk forward just a little bit more, and there's 5 under.
again real nice in those tones. If I just add another node here, let's do that and hit. Just wind it up. Again, it's just noise increase. You can start to feel a little bit of that colored noise down there.
Yes.
But the fall off across the face is very even. So the signal is actually, it is exposing down there nicely. It's not truncating itself and
just falling off a cliff.
No.
Yeah.
Again, you wouldn't want it this bright,
Right.
but there is a nice fall off down in
Yeah,
that
it's like
bottom
even
end.
when, without you manipulating it, it just coming into an office, obviously I'm having her look up in the air, so she's getting that perfect exposure to 6 under. But I'm seeing detail, and it's still like, then she's going to turn on the light, and when she turns on the light, that goes to 4.5 under. And that looks super clean.
Yeah,
without us doing a lot.
Yeah, you can still, this is if I turn off the correction that I did before, it's moody and looks real velvety and nice. It's just when bringing it up brings up a noise, but as I said, we're bringing it up a substantial amount.
Yeah.
And if you had lit this on purpose like this, you would want shadows.
Yes.
Like I don't think you would want this, otherwise you would have lit it unless you had no choice. So that's why this is actually good, because it could show you if it wasn't in your control.
Right.
We could pull something out of this.
So now let's say, okay, go to how we exposed it. Okay. Now split the difference. Cut that in half.
Okay, so if we turn this on and I just do a real simple 50% of that correction.
Yeah. See, that's nice.
It brings up the key on a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even go down another 25%. Yeah, because now I'm still getting the sheen from this light here. Her shadow on the wall is looking nice.
Yeah, it's like if you bring it up like half, 2/3 of a stop.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay. All right, now she's going to walk over. She's going to turn this light on, and she's going to go +2 over. Boom.
Okay, so I'll turn off our previous correction. So this is just as you shot it natively.
Yep.
And then if I wind that down, even the lamp is really nice there.
I know. That's the other
So
thing.
definitely her face which is what we care about.
Yeah.
But it's nice having a nice shoulder on that signal, that it's not just a hard cutoff.
You know how many times you and I have gone into these damn practicals and created that damn window and had to track it and all that stuff?
And to bloom it to try to hide the hard
Clip.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is just, what I'm seeing is just the beautiful graduation of the heat.
Yeah. We are getting clip in the filament,
Yeah.
but I would expect,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a practical light source, you
Yes.
know, and that's that's burning, but this is where we would actually care in the signal, and it's really nice. So there's plenty of room down in the top end, lighting her, and you know, obviously the bottom end's fine because we looked at that before.
Yeah. So if you were going to balance this here, just to you know, as she's starting to turn the lights on, he's going to come over and turn another light on.
Yeah, so we might just, you know,
Exactly. Yes.
just do a little bit of that, have a bit of nuance,
Yeah.
but
Perfect.
Do
Yes. Okay. Now we keep it rolling, and now he's going to come over, and he's going to be at 3.5 over in this corner here, right there. Let's see.
here, or is it
Yeah.
when he's in?
Let's see. Cubicle. Oh yeah, maybe when he comes and he
in.
turns towards us. So he turns this light on, and then right there, he's at 3.5 under.
Okay.
And this is obviously darker skin tones.
So I've zeroed out our previous corrections.
Okay.
Again, let's just wind up. So plenty of detail in there. Let's just grade it how we want it. Nice wrap across the side of the face there.
Yeah. And obviously he's going around and turning lights on, so we want him to feel dark a little bit.
Yeah.
Now he comes over here, and at the coffee machine, he's -2.
So that's with
let's
the
have-
same correction. That's off.
Yeah.
Again, let's just wind up. Plenty. Like it's really nice, and on the wall behind, nice fall off in the shoulder there. So we
Right.
we definitely don't have constraints on the top or bottom.
Okay.
Feels real nice, and then just
Yeah, just a little manipulation there is nice. Okay, now we're going to come over here. Okay, now when that light turns on, she's -6 before the light comes on.
okay.
So maybe let's see right there. Whoa.
So if we again just wind down first, because let's look at what the
Yeah.
is happening. It's plenty of texture. So
Yeah.
we're not getting into trouble of like just we've lost all that detail in there. So that's a good thing. And then winding up, noisy, but there is a fall off. We obviously wouldn't want to see too much detail in her face in the piece, because we'd be bringing up a lot of that noise.
Right.
But again, it's not just a hard, you know, because quite often what we've found in the past with different digital cameras, when they're doing it and they say, oh, we're not noisy, they change the noise floor and they just bring it up and just basically clamp it off so you don't see the noise. But now it's just zeroed out all the details. So this is pretty nice. So again, if we were to just
I just want to see basically just ever so slightly of her.
just a slide.
Yeah, because obviously he's going to turn the light on, and we got a nice little boom.
Yeah,
and
so-
when the light goes on, it's -1.5 down.
Okay, so let's zero the correction out again. And then we can, I mean, that just looks great. So yeah, there's nothing that's obvious here in the signal that is problematic.
Great.
Probably just give it a little bit of,
Yeah,
little bit of a
of
kick.
juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to, she's going to come towards us. And when they come down the pre-hallway, let's see.
What's beautiful here is also we're getting great exposure on her face, even though it's under, and so that means we can see right out into
exactly.
Which is either good or bad because you now have to account for that, and in HDR you would see all the way into that, but it's nice that you have that massive that ratio.
Right. So when she comes into that pre-hallway right in here, she is -3 under.
Okay. So this is just your, I'm not even doing much previously there, so I would say that's perfect for the mood.
Yes, exactly.
In there anyway.
And we're holding still all that detail. Those things aren't blooming. Now here, he is -2 in the kitchen with his darker skin tone, and we actually push past her to get a little closer.
So I've just brought up the mids a little bit, just so we can read into him. But if you look on the waveforms, we're not crushing or anything in there. We've got the range.
Okay. And now when they come down the hallway, they're going to be in. This is -1.
Okay, so let's stop there. 0 that. Getting a clip on that practical up there, but that is fine. We would, if we really needed to take it down, we would just bloom it. We wouldn't. Right. I wouldn't do much to that. It's actually sitting in a really nice place.
Now there's the 6 over right here.
Okay, so let's just 0 that and wind down. Real nice fall off, but you can see
He's
here
clipping a little.
Here we're starting to reach the boundaries of but it's pretty amazing.
Yes.
But that is a concern. So again, good to know because you can control that.
Yes.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
But really nice. But if it was going to be that hot, you would embrace it. You wouldn't try to bring that detail. You would actually let it bloom.
Yeah.
We would cheat it if we needed to by pro-misting it a little.
Right.
Just to ease
bloom
the
it.
edge so we don't get a hard edge on the clip.
Defocusing that, the highlight and everything.
Yeah, but very nice and...
The other thing is the tones all feel real. Like that's what my eye is seeing. It's like.
The other thing to look at here is.
All right, when he comes into here.
See, we're getting the same thing that we saw on his face because it's still that same 6 over.
Yeah, you're seeing.
We are at the limit. I mean, it is not. A miracle camera.
No, and the funny thing is this is white at 6 over, and then he's going to open up this window right now after he turns these lights on, and it's going to go to 5 over. And let's see if we can hold that detail there in the clip.
Okay.
So that's 5.
Yep.
And we can.
Looking at the scopes.
Yep.
There is a little bit of clip somewhere, probably.
And maybe there too.
Yeah, on his teeth and on the side here.
Okay.
And probably the filaments of that, but on the wall and his jacket. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I would say 5 is your top end.
Yes.
But really nice. I mean, you can get a really great image out of that from that massive exposure range.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, now he's going to walk forward and he's going to go to 3.5 over into the next window. So that's 3.5.
Plenty of range there in his face, not
clip in at all.
No.
Yeah.
Perfect. So.
Okay.
And, if we were good at 5, we're going to be good at that.
Yes, good. And then now we're going to go to 3 over.
So what's going to be interesting here is how do they look in comparison to each other? And this is where we could, if we needed to, we could just do a split in the grade and just do a grad to pull down Kira's side and then keep him you know, at a
Yep.
decent exposure. But we still have the detail there. We got plenty of detail in there. So yeah, if it was important, and then obviously depending on people crossing each other, you know, if they kind of stayed separate and we could dissolve it through,
Yeah.
we could actually
Yeah,
step
'cause
that
he's gonna
if we
now
needed
cross,
to.
yeah.
Because if that was like you had lights out there exposing her, but you didn't have enough light, so this was an unintentional exposure difference, we could probably handle it. Again, we just have to be careful of crossing and hiding all of that
Okay.
stuff.
All right, so let's let them go. Just gonna turn that light on. And now Kira.
Again, we could do a dynamic in
Yes,
there
exactly.
to hold her.
I mean, the 3.5 looks really nice on her with the bloom.
Creamy.
Yeah. And now she goes to 3.
Still good. Nice ratio. What's the ratio between the fill and the key?
It's 3.5.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nice. And then, you know, in that situation, yeah, that's really tasty.
Yeah. Okay. Now when she comes over to the white chalkboard, she's +2 over.
Okay, so this is no correction, so we would
Yeah, bring that down.
because everything's up, so there's a flatness in
Yes,
it which
correct.
we would counter.
Yeah, nice. Now we're getting that nice cheekbone and everything,
Yeah.
and the chin line.
So plenty of shape.
And now he turns on the light. Now him over there is +2 at the workbench.
And he's good. So what was
She was
Kira there?
+2 at the chalkboard.
Yeah, so
so it's the difference in skin tones that's
Yeah.
really showing us that.
really nice. You can see we're probably just copy that. Even range still in there, so that was I thought maybe we would be getting
Yeah, I
a
thought we
clip
were
in
going to
there.
clip.
No.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at those. This here. We are starting to get into a little bit of chroma clipping through here. You can
Right.
see.
Yep.
So again, if we needed to manage that because we needed to take it down, that's starting to look digital because of the way the shoulder works on this. So we would probably have to do some keying and softening of that isolation of that area.
Okay.
But a lot of range. Like I'm very pleasantly surprised.
There you go through that 6 again.
Yeah.
And when they come into here, they're right at perfect exposure when they land underneath that light.
So this is no correction, just look up table.
And that looks just like our exposure that we were doing to our skin tones.
Yep.
It looks right on the money.
Yep.
Awesome.
So that is that's actually really that's a lot of usable range.
Yeah.
Quite often the cameras have a spec'd out dynamic range, but usable. It's actually needs to be a bit more conservative. This is really impressive.
I concur. I mean, just looking at this too, with just the coolness in the background and how her skin really pops and that skin tone just here and how well his warmth and detail and just how it renders. I think this camera is something to look at.
And this is out of the box. This is using their lookup table, so we haven't even
Exactly. And
played
you're just
with doing
using
that.
offsets and stuff.
Yeah,
You're not
so
going.
You know, and we're not trying to make it like have filmic tones and hues and everything. This is just out of the box. So again, very impressive as a you pick up the camera, hit that button and start recording. It's it comes down to then, you know, framing the shot, lighting the shot, making it look good, but you're not hampered, I would say, by the technology.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank Dave Cole for coming in. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Your expertise is just so profound, and I love just micromanaging the image with you. So thank you so much, everyone. And that concludes our over and under cinematic wonder test with stop points to be able to really micromanage that image and really go down the rabbit hole. Okay, here. Let's talk about what no one else seems to be talking about. This sensor is a complete reinvention. Think about DaVinci Resolve. They have been in the post-production business for decades, and they've been leading it for at least a decade. And they've taken all that intel, all that R&D, and they've put it together, collaborating with professionals inside this incredible camera. So it's able to downscale and all these things that are super impressive. What I like about it is this sensor is just not following the norm. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Well, every camera manufacturer copies each other. Arri copies Red copies Sony, and the bare pattern sensors have been around for decades. And this tech is not perfect in any way. So Blackmagic decided to reinvent it. All the cameras, Sony, Red, and Arri, have all been using bare patterns, as well as Blackmagic, up until this very camera. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, Blackmagic uses RGB white, with half the sights being white and the other half being equal dispersed between red, green, and blue. The typical bare pattern sensor that all of the other camera manufacturers use is twice as many green pixels as there are red and blue. So, our standard bare pattern is a 2x2 on Sony, Arri, and Red. Blackmagic's is 6x6 RGB white. And this configuration, with its insane pixel density, think about it. The reason Arri has 4.6K, and that's all it truly needs, is their photo buckets are huge, and it really laps up that light very beautifully. But with a 12K sensor, these pixels are minute. There's millions of them in there. Now, what does this do for us? Well, this camera doesn't need dual ISO, because with the white pixel, it's letting 3 times that light in, and it gives you incredible low light sensitivity. And that's what Dave Cole and I saw. We had Kira coming into the office at 6 under, and we were able to open it up, and he said there were probably 3 more stops there. That's 9 stops in the under, and we saw 7 in the over. The other wonderful thing about this camera is by using the 6x6 grid and sending the pixel configurations in a diagonal way, they're able to sister reds right next to each other, blues, greens, and whites. So what does this mean? This is called pixel binning. When you usually downscale an image, you have to pixel skip. So you're skipping a lot of pixels. So when you're in handheld and you have very detailed patterns, that's going to moire and you're going to get artifacting. So that's not good. A lot of the manufacturers will give you a downscaled image, but not in a raw format. It's usually ProRes, so you lose all that dynamic range. With this, when you go from 12K that sees every single pixel, and you then go to 8K, it pixel bins 2 reds, 2 whites, 2 greens, and 2 blues together. Now, does this give you a resolution loss? Yeah, 0.7%. Are you kidding me? Nothing. So at 8K, the camera writes to the card super fast. You also don't have any kind of rolling shutter issues because of its bit rate and processing power. So now you're starting to really bring in a can of whoop ass. This is completely reinventing how we've built sensors in the past. And this is why, to me, I'm very excited about it. I want you to make sure you go to our friends at Team 2 Films, because they do a super deep dive into all this tech. Give them a shout out on their YouTube channel and tell them we sent you. Now, this might seem like a lot of tech, but the image looks so impressive because of these things. And what I really love is knowing that if I'm shooting 12K to be able to do a massive wide shot that I'm going to do a ton of VFX rendering on, and they need that detail, I know that I can shoot at 12K and then go to 8K on the same millimeter, a 50 mil, and I don't have to do this chart. I don't have to pull out my iPad and try to see what a 50 means at this crop or that crop or what this downscaling stuff is. I just know at a 12K, I have a 50 mil LF perspective. At 8K, I have the same. And at 4K, I have the same. A 50 is a 50. And on set, this is a big deal. And I also say, look at the DSLR revolution, what came out of that. Since they've reinvented the whole sensor technology, we took a small little DSLR and we ran around with it. And we were able to move the camera in ways that no one had ever seen before. What did professional camera manufacturers do? They were like, whoa, 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 we need to make our cameras smaller. Red made the Epic. Perfect box. Are you kidding me? I love that camera. I can put it on gimbals. I can hide it in floorboards. I can mount it under cars and trucks. They can drive over the top of the thing. This was disruptive technology. It started to take all the professional camera manufacturers and they realized that they had to change their game. Also, it started a rehousing lens revolution. Think about everyone was taking their Canon 5D and they were taking their Leica and all these different unique Nikon AI glass and everything and putting it on these cameras, and it was looking amazing. So then all of a sudden you had all these other manufacturers saying, whoa, 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 let's grab this vintage glass and let's rehouse it. Let's retool it. So we have all the vintage optics, but it's in a beautiful cinema wrapper where all the ACs can have all their gears and we're not putting all of those things on that we used to have to, zip gears and zip iris gears and everything. Now it's professional grade. I want to thank you so much for letting me take you through this first look on the Blackmagic Cine URSA 12K LF. Blackmagic has reinvented sensor technology, and this is disruptive. And I love to shake things up. I want you to get out there and start testing with this camera. And I think you'll start to understand my excitement and passion, because I really haven't felt this since I picked up the Canon 5D in 2009 and realized that this was going to change the way we created.